The story begins with Sam Bennett driving his rig through the sprawling landscape of Interstate 80, heading west towards California. The road is long and straight, cutting through endless stretches of flat plains and rolling hills. The sun is setting, casting a golden glow over the highway, and Sam feels the familiar sense of peace that comes with the open road. The radio plays softly in the background, a classic rock station that fades in and out as he moves through different regions. The traffic is light, with only a few other vehicles on the road, and Sam settles in for another long night of driving. He's on a tight schedule, hauling a load of electronics to a warehouse in Sacramento, and he plans to drive through the night to make up for lost time. As darkness falls, Sam begins to notice something strange. The road ahead seems to stretch on indefinitely, the horizon never getting any closer. The familiar landmarks, the occasional gas station, rest stop, or highway sign, are conspicuously absent, leaving Sam with a growing sense of unease. The sky is a deep, inky black, the stars obscured by thick, swirling clouds that seem to swallow the light. Sam checks the GPS, but the screen flickers and goes blank, leaving him with no sense of direction. The radio cuts out, replaced by a low rumbling static that fills the cab with an oppressive hum. The air inside the truck feels heavy and thick, making it difficult to breathe, and Sam's hands tighten on the steering wheel as he tries to shake off the feeling of dread creeping into his mind. As the night deepens, the hallucinations begin. At first they're subtle, a fleeting shadow in the corner of his eye, the distant echo of a voice that seems to come from nowhere. Sam dismisses these as tricks of the mind, the result of fatigue and the isolation of the road. But as the miles pass, the hallucinations grow more vivid, more terrifying. The landscape outside the truck starts to change, the familiar terrain of the plains giving way to a twisted, nightmarish version of reality. The road becomes uneven and cracked, the asphalt buckling and shifting under the tires. The surrounding fields are shrouded in a thick fog that seems to pulse with an unnatural life, and strange shapes move within the mist. Their forms indistinct but menacing, Sam begins to see figures standing by the side of the road. Pale, ghostly apparitions with hollow eyes and outstretched hands, their mouths open in silent screams. They vanish as quickly as they appear, leaving Sam shaken and disoriented. The road itself seems to twist and bend, leading him in circles, as if trying to trap him in an endless loop. The hallucinations intensify, blurring the line between reality and nightmare. Sam sees monstrous creatures crawling out of the cracks in the road, their bodies twisted and deformed, their eyes glowing with a malevolent light. The sky above is a churning vortex of darkness, lightning flashing in the distance, but there's no thunder, only the deafening silence of the cursed highway. Sam tries to stay focused, gripping the steering wheel with white-knuckled determination, but his sense of time and distance begins to warp. Hours seem to pass in minutes, and the road stretches on forever, with no end in sight. The truck's clock flickers erratically, the numbers spinning wildly, as if the very fabric of time is unraveling. Sam's mental state deteriorates as the hallucinations take on a life of their own. The figures outside the truck start to appear inside the cab, their cold, clammy hands brushing against his skin, their breath hot and rancid on his neck. The radio crackles to life, playing distorted snippets of voices and music that sound as though they're coming from another world, another time. The truck itself becomes a prison, the walls closing in as the air grows colder and heavier. Sam's vision blurs, the road ahead dissolving into a swirling maelstrom of darkness and light. He sees flashes of scenes that don't belong, an old farmhouse burning in the distance, a field of dead trees swaying in a wind that doesn't exist, a dilapidated motel sign flickering in the gloom. In his desperation, Sam tries to pull off the highway, searching for any sign of civilization, but every exit leads him back to the same stretch of road, the same twisted landscape. The truck's engine roars in protest as he pushes it to its limits, the speedometer needle climbing as he races against the madness threatening to consume him. Just as he's about to lose control, Sam spots a figure standing in the middle of the road up ahead. A tall, dark silhouette with glowing eyes. The figure raises a hand, and the truck's headlights flicker and die, plunging Sam into total darkness. He slams on the brakes, but the truck skids and spins, the tires screeching on the asphalt. The world around him collapses into chaos, the road twisting and warping as the hallucinations reach their peak. The figures inside the truck close in, their hands grasping and pulling at him, their voices a cacophony of whispers and screams. Sam fights back, but the weight of the nightmare is too much, and he feels himself slipping into the abyss. Just as Sam is about to be overwhelmed, the hallucinations abruptly cease. The truck comes to a stop, the engine sputtering and dying, and the world around him falls silent. Sam sits in the cab, his breath coming in ragged gasps, his hands shaking uncontrollably. The road ahead is calm and still. The landscape once again the familiar plains of Interstate 80. The clock on the dashboard reads 3:33 a.m., the time frozen as if mocking him. Sam steps out of the truck, his legs weak and unsteady, and looks around. The sky is clear, the stars twinkling innocently above, and the cool night air carries the scent of the open road. There's no sign of the horrors he just experienced, no evidence that anything out of the ordinary happened. But Sam knows better. He can feel the lingering presence of the cursed highway, the malevolent force that tried to claim him. He knows that something dark and powerful lies hidden beneath the surface of Interstate 80, waiting for its next victim. Determined to get as far away as possible, Sam climbs back into the truck and starts the engine. The clock begins to tick again, the time returning to normal, and the truck pulls back onto the highway. Sam drives on, the miles passing by in a blur, but the memory of what happened stays with him, haunting his every thought. As the first light of dawn breaks over the horizon, Sam finally reaches the outskirts of a small town. He pulls into a truck stop, exhausted but relieved to be free of the cursed highway. The nightmare may be over, but the scars remain, a reminder of the horrors that lurk on the open road. The story ends with Sam sitting in the truck stop diner, a cup of coffee in hand, staring out the window at the morning sun. He knows he survived something that defies explanation, and he's grateful to be alive. But he also knows that the road holds secrets and that some things are best left unexplored. As he prepares to continue his journey, Sam resolves to stay away from Interstate 80, to take a different route, and to never forget the night he faced the cursed highway. But as he pulls back onto the road, a part of him wonders if the nightmare is truly over, or if it's just waiting for the right moment to return.